bring in Chris Sims, the Pro Football Talk live co-host in Football Night in America. Robert Saleh was trying to say something nice about Zach Wilson. How would you feel if you're Zach listening to that with your head coach?
Well, there's not a whole lot to say. The reality is right now, I mean, it's a disaster. So I'm Zach Wilson, I'm sure, is very, aware of the reality of the situation. He's not good, right? He's not playing good. There's no help. I mean, come on, we're getting ready for the Sunday night football game and going through pregame stuff, and we already have a list of 100 plays of guy blown up blocking, guy can't block, guy can't block, guy can't get open. So it's a lot of issues, but damn, that offense needs to do something because they got no chance with the way they're playing right now.
Okay, but explain this to me. Aaron Rodgers goes down and the entire offense implodes?
Well, I think I think it's fair to say we might have been a little ahead of ourselves on that too. Went down and 3 out of the 4 plays looked like crap. So let's not forget about that. He had no time to do anything, and they were running slant and slant and slant and slant and slant. And it's just okay, yeah, that ain't going to work on a consistent basis. So, yeah, but also, yes, I mean, would it be better with Aaron Rodgers? Certainly. I don't think it'd be remarkably better, though. I don't. Okay. Now, he would be able to manage the game and take the care of the ball and probably get them in a few plays that Zach Wilson's not capable of doing because Rodgers is the master at the on-the-field general stuff, right? But still, they lost 15-10 last week. If Rodgers was playing, could they have won 16-15? Yeah, maybe. They might have lost 15-13 too. They can't run, they can't protect, and they only have one receiver who's really a separation receiver in Garrett Wilson, and that's a problem.
Okay, why are they adding Trevor Siemian, and why are they adding him now as opposed to a couple of weeks ago?
That I don't know. Now, he was a name that I brought out pretty quickly in the process. He's been in the West Coast offense, so I knew that, okay, from that standpoint, he'll get up to speed pretty quickly. He's been in a number of different West Coast offenses. 2, I think he's a guy that, hey, he's played, he's an insurance policy, but he's not this presence that is just going to cause everybody oh, play him. Mm-hmm. It takes away from distraction a little bit. And the other thing here too, Dan, is Aaron Rodgers, by all due accounts, is going to be back next year. So what are they going to do? Trade the farm for somebody that's really damn good and then go, oh, wait, what do we do here? We have Rodgers and somebody else, let alone we know that anybody really damn good is not available for trade right now. So I think that's probably where it ends up going back on Trevor Siemian.
What if the Jets end up with a top 5 pick?
Oh, it's easy.
Would you take a quarterback?
I would, 100%. Right. Hey, listen, I know I was, Zach Wilson, right? One, Trevor Lawrence, too. I'm wrong about that. I've been saying that. I know that. Now, I was right about Mac Jones and Trey Lance and Justin Fields. I'd like to point that out, too, though, right? Just to let you all know.
All right.
It wasn't all. But yes, if I was them, I've seen enough. The most concerning thing to me about Zach Wilson, and he has had no help, but the end of week 2, when the game was 30-10, that was the first, or not the first time, but really a time where I went, man, he just doesn't get it. To be down 30-10, to throw interceptions when the game was over and, put gasoline on the fire of Zach Wilson stinks and just not kind of play the game within the game, the politics of the game a little bit, that really spoke loud to me. Damn, I guess he just doesn't get it. He ain't ever going to get it.
Okay, does Justin Fields get it?
No, Justin Fields does not get it. Justin Fields is an athlete who plays quarterback. He's not a quarterback who is a good athlete, and that's the way it should be. But, yeah, I know there's all this excuse-making everywhere and all that. I mean, I was laughing last week watching one of the sports networks tell me it was Justin Fields. It was the Bears were failing Justin Fields as they were showing highlights of people open all over the field. And I'm going, wait, are they watching the same games I'm watching here? Right? So that was a little insane. But yes, they call plays in the way that they're still managing him and they don't trust him. And then he does not see the field very well. He watches the rush play after play after play. And
wait a minute. Explain that.
Yeah.
Explain.
there's so many plays where you look and you go, wait, what? There's people open over here, and he's kind of dancing around looking at who's coming because he's going to get ready to run. And that's one of the biggest reasons he takes a lot of sacks and why there's missed people open and opportunities downfield. So that is definitely something that's a problem for this Bears offense right now.
You got the Bears hosting the Broncos.
Yeah.
The Broncos just lost by 50, and they're favored in this game.
Right.
Okay.
Right. That says something, right? A little. It's kind of crazy.
All right. Who do you like in this game?
I like the Broncos.
Okay.
I definitely. The Broncos are a better football team than the Bears. You know, the Broncos disaster last week, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Like, it's one of those where I'd love to sit down with you and watch the film and you just go, what are they doing here? Like, how many times are they going to get burned by this same run before they make an adjustment? Are they ever going to touch a receiver? Or are they just going to let them all fly down the field and just get up on the safeties in 0.4 seconds?
Yeah, but Sean Payton was supposed to change all of this. You know, Nathaniel Hackett had the worst coaching job in NFL history.
I hear you. No, listen, it don't look good on Sean Payton right now either. But the one thing he can sell to his team is, hey, they could have easily won week 1 and week 2, right? Week 1, it was a nail biter between the Raiders. Week 2, I mean, they had Washington on the ropes. It was 21-3. They were moving the ball, and there was a wide open receiver coming, and Russell ran for some reason and fumbled the ball, and they picked it up, and the game was never the same. So there are some positives to point out there, and I'm going to bet on Sean Payton and what I've seen over the last 20 years from him, that they come back and bounce back and play tough and win this football game.
Talking to Chris Sims, Pro Football Talk Live co-host, Football Night in America, his Unbuttoned podcast. Let me have you talk about the Dolphins' offense. Is there an offense that it reminds you of?
Well, it's the 49ers, except the 49ers do all the motions and movements to enhance the run game, and then that helps their pass game. The Dolphins are like the vice versa because of the weapons and the team they have. They've built it on, let's do all these motions and everything and expose people through the pass game that way. And then we'll get people to play so much pass defense that now we'll run the ball, and that'll be easy because everybody's scared as hell of us throwing it deep to Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
But is Mike McDaniel doing something different that we haven't seen?
Well, I think he's like Shanahan. He's got a brilliant mind. He's not afraid to try new things. And I can't tell you how many coaches in football are afraid that, like, nobody ever taught me that. So I don't know if I can make that guy run the corner route and that guy run the post route. Like, whoa. So they're very conservative that way. Shanahan, McDaniel, McVay, they go, well, this looks cool. And I know defenses, and I think this will screw them over. I'm going to try it, even though we've never seen this play before. That's where he's different. And where I always praise Shanahan is he could be a defensive coordinator. And that's where McDaniel is special, is he knows teams are playing me like this. I know the rules of their defense, and now I'm going to do some movements and motions and things that are going to expose some of the rules of their defense and make it hard on them, and they're going to have to change it. And that's where I think it's, different than just about anything we've ever seen.
Plus, you give Tyreek Hill a running start. It's like a CFL offense. And
exactly right. They are masters at spreading you out horizontally, and then they get you spread out horizontally, and then they carve you up vertically. And they got quite the formula working right now.
What have you seen from Jordan Love with 4 starts in his pocket?
Yeah, a little inconsistent, right? But definitely some positive things to look at and go, hey, I'm a believer in this Packer team. The defense is good. If they can get Aaron Jones and Christian Watson is one of the most game breaker type receivers in football. They can get him healthy. They could be dangerous. The one thing I really like about Love, right? It's not, efficient and surgical quite yet, but he's got great feel in the pocket, and unlike Rodgers the last few years, he's willing to push the ball down the field and pat the ball an extra time in the pocket and go, wait, I see the guy coming open for 25 yards. I'm gonna wait and let him work and I'm gonna hit him here. And that's where they become a little bit more dangerous, where they're running the ball and pretty creative in that department. And then when they drop back to pass, it's not look for the 4 and 5 yard completion. It's like, no, let's look for Musgrave, the tight end, down the middle for 20, or Jaden Reed for a 20-yard out route. And that's what I really liked about Jordan Love, let alone, like you've seen, he hasn't blinked in the big moments. It hasn't been perfect, but he doesn't look like he's like a deer in the headlights.
As an NBC employee, you have the Chiefs and Jets on Sunday night. Any intel on Taylor Swift? Is there a Taylor Swift feature coming up on Football Night in America?
Well, not that I know. I don't think there's a feature. That might be one that like is above my pay grade, and they give to Maria Taylor. Like, so that could be. But we're getting all the rumors that she's going to be there at the game. And
that's a non-denial denial.
I don't know if she's there.
Is she going to sit down with Taylor Swift?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Travis
I haven't
Kelce,
heard that.
with Travis Kelce.
That I feel like Travis Kelce might be on someone's interview docket, but it certainly wasn't mine.
Do you think they're a couple, Chris? Do you think this is real?
Do.
You think this is?
Yes, I do.
Wow, this just in. What makes you think that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are an item?
Taylor Swift won, like, it is the most popular person in the world. Like, what is she like gaining out of Travis Kelce? Like, there's nothing there where she's like, well, man, I have 900 million followers. I need 900 million and 100,000. Like, what? So I don't look at it that way. He's a star of stars in the NFL. And I think it organically happened from what I even know from other people kind of connected to the situation. It kind of just, it happened. So, yeah, she lives in New York. So it's right across the river. She's in the East Village or the West Village. I know she's somewhere down there. So I would expect to see her at the game. And if she's at the game, I can promise you NBC will have a camera on her a lot through the night. That's for sure.
Okay. Don't incorporate Taylor Swift song titles into highlights on Sunday night. Okay.
It was a 1-week thing.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Shake it off, Matt Dan. Shake it off.
I know.
Okay?
I know.
All right.
I know. Yeah. I am never, ever, ever, ever having you back on the show again.
Damn, is that right? All because of that?
No.
Fine, good.
It's just a takeoff. Before I let you go, your Septem VP in the NFL is who?
It's hard not to go with Tua right now. I think that's probably somebody I look at right now, just what they're doing on the offensive side of the ball. Who else am I missing here? Yeah. Or it's Christian McCaffrey. I'd probably McCaffrey or Tua. Those would be the two I'd look at. I worry about McCaffrey being overworked, but damn, I mean, he's been an all-star in all 3 games.
Could you play quarterback better than Zach Wilson this week?
No, probably not. No way.
Probably not. If I gave you a month.
I don't think so. I'd like to think like yes, but realistically, it's so hard. I mean, like it's when you haven't played for a while. Just look at Deshaun Watson. He's one of the better talents we've ever seen in the history of the sport. He went a long time without playing, and last week was the first time we saw him where we went, oh, that kind of looks like the old Deshaun Watson. So I'd say no. Let alone I'm 43 and I don't want to be hit anymore. So there's a lot of problems there.
Thank you, Chris. Have a great weekend.
All right, Dan.
That's
you too.
Chris Sims. He's a co-host with Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk Live, that precedes our show and, of course, contributes to Football Night in America.